Everybody, welcome to Five Guys on Live. We have such a huge show tonight, and we are really fortunate. I hear some background. Everybody mute. DeAndre, I think it was you. We are really fortunate to have with us the one and only Dr. DeAndre Pickett. He's back in the house. Dr. Pickett, welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello, and it's not me, but
it just went away.
Yes. Okay. But again, how are you, Zach? And it's good to be back. I've watched y'all. Had an amazing show last week, and it's good to be back.
You know, we do what we can when we can. We're happy to have you. Dr. Pickett just had a great show earlier tonight with Dr. Woodson. It was great to have him. And we're also here with noted diversity and inclusion specialist, Zach Thomas. Zach, welcome back to well, this is your first time with Five Guys on Live, right?
No, I think I came once. Yeah, I think I came once. But
I think you've done some stuff with Darius and Vince and myself, but it was on around the election. It was on special topics. This is your first time, I really believe, actually being with us on Five Guys on Live. So, Zach Thomas, welcome to the Five Guys on Live. We are thankful to have both of you gentlemen joining us in what I know will be a very full hour-long conversation. We are going to do our best to keep Darius to keep CJ happy as he wants an hour. He is somewhere, I'm sure, watching us tonight in his absence, counting down, making sure that we are on track. He's our showtime. We'll keep it in an hour. We have a lot to address. Let's go right into it, guys. We're going to start right off with the very first topic of the night, gentlemen. This has dominated the news cycle for a whole entire 2 weeks. And that is the impeachment trial, the second impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump. Unfortunately, this man who did indeed incite a riot was actually acquitted by the United States Senate, but he was impeached. No matter what happens, Donald J. Trump will go down in history as the only president in American history to become impeached twice, as in you committed a crime that was charged by the actual House of Representatives, and you didn't learn your lesson, you did something else, and impeached twice, but he was acquitted by the Senate. Gentlemen, for those of you who were able to capture parts of this trial, what were your thoughts, highlights, lowlights, and things that you want to say? And here it is, the one and only Dr. Woodson, who I was able to watch just now on DeAndre's show, Pick Ed Speaks. Great job, Dr. Woodson. I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. It was great to see you there. We're really excited to have you as well, my brother. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Gentlemen, take it away. What are your thoughts?
So for me, again, to your point, Zach, I was in and out because it was apparently a very long, if you will, trial. Took hours on end. A highlight for me was definitely Representative Plaskett from the Virgin Islands. She did a phenomenal job. I literally felt like I was watching Law and Order, SVU, or Criminal Minds. Like just the way she prepared and presented herself and gave the real-time videos and the real-time facts. And one thing that I really commended her on was the fact that she just unpacked the track record rather on Trump's just how he has been inciting violence for forever, pulling up the footage from the drivers attempting to run the Biden bus off the road, and the governor of Michigan, how those people were threatening to kidnap her, and the send her back, where they were chanting send her back at the Trump rallies. And so her just repainting those images and bringing back those once upon a time moments back into the real time, all that to just be the train wreck to happen on January 6th was beautiful. Unfortunately, a lot of us already knew how the Republican Party was going to be, so on and so forth. I was optimistic in one part of my brain that he would get impeached officially by the Senate, but I think we all knew that the Republican Party were not going to pull through. But I am hopeful that the other, I guess we could say, just things he's facing in court outside of the Senate will come to pass, with the DC mayor and the Georgia phone call and the New York situation. I really hope that they bring him to terms and he gets convicted on those other areas. So yeah, that was my position on it.
So it definitely looks like, Zach, we're going to turn to you in a moment because you kind of giving a little time to unmute. It looks like we definitely have some comments here in the chat where, again, many people, it seems to be a general consensus, gentlemen, that no matter what happened, Republicans wouldn't have convicted. Zach Thomas, what do you think?
No, I definitely agree. And I agree wholeheartedly with a lot of what Vince said. Representative Placid definitely was a highlight of the show. And I think the prosecution made a complete, made their case. Even the defender said that. Even Mitch came back and said he guilty, but we just can't vote for him, which is crazy. But what I was happy to see was 7 senators on the Republican side who actually voted their conscience and not their party. And so I don't know if this is going to come back and bite them in the butt, but I was happy to see that as well.
These are the 7 Republicans who chose country over party. And 2 of them are retiring. And only one of them, and that is Senator Murkowski of Alaska, is actually going to be up for re-election next year. So we will see to what extent there is blowback and controversy around her decision to do what she felt was the morally right thing for the American people. It will be interesting because the Republican Party seems to be taking a really hard-nosed stance against punishing those who go against President Trump, but time will show if that's the case. Candy says this is a symbol of fascism in America, that many people, also this Facebook user, that they didn't understand that he was going to be acquitted because it takes more than it takes 67, not 50 plus votes. Now, I knew that. I think many people probably knew that. And I'm going to be honest with you, gentlemen. Because of that, I really question if this was a good use of our Senate's time. Like, was this a good use of their time? Because there was no way he was going to get convicted. But I thought about that and I came to the conclusion that it was because the American people needed to relive this horror moment so they never forget what he did. Darius, what your thoughts on that?
No, I can't remember who it was that I was watching, but they made the same point. Was it a good use of our time? And the reality is, for us to just have let this happen and done nothing about it would have sent a message that you can do this. Well, I guess you can do it and get away with it because he did. But also, just because the Republicans are going to be lazy, should all of America be lazy and say this is going to be a waste of our time? We have to send a message that you can't, in the last days of your presidency, decide that you don't want to transfer power and just throw a hissy fit and just, send people to hang your vice president. But I look forward to the day that we no longer have to utter this man's name. And I think that day is coming very soon. And hopefully he'll have some shackles on his feet when we are no longer able to do that. So I'm just tired of his name. I don't want to hear about it. Not in Black History Month. Let's just let it go for the rest of Black History Month. And we can try that again next month. We can, talk about it some more. But for now, to the trash can. To the trash can.
Not even during Women's History Month. We don't need to.
And it's also right. It's
That's
moving.
My birthday month too, right?
Yeah, it is. We will see. I'm going to say this, and this was a really good question that was brought up, a good point brought up by Dr. Woodson. Dr. Woodson, I would like to I want to tell people to do one thing for me in regards to this response. And so what Dr. Woodson is saying is that what does he have on these people? There has been a ongoing theory that Donald Trump, Don John Trump right here, my favorite picture of him, I'm going to show it every episode that I can show it on every platform I have. My favorite picture of Donald Trump. And the ongoing theory is that he does have dirt on people like Ted Cruz and people like Lindsey Graham and people like Mitch McConnell, because when he was elected, they swore they would never show fealty to this man. And now they are insanely loyal to him, so much so that they're doing illegal things that could land them in jail, lose their law license and their position in government. This is what happened. I do know this for a fact. You can Google this. Number one, you may remember back in 2016 when the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, was hacked by Russian operatives. What happened as a result of that was that a lot of confidential information obtained by the Democratic National Committee was then shared worldwide. Let me give you an example. So the Democratic National Committee fields and vets candidates. In that process, they may have dirt or things that a candidate has said, this is something in my past that will be problematic if I run for office. The DNC's job is to run interference and give them advice on how to handle that. When that came public, somehow Republicans then use that information against their Democratic candidates, and they won Senate seats and House of Representative seats. And of course, we know that Donald Trump himself won. We also found out later that the Russian operatives also hacked the RNC, but that data never became public. That data never became known. It is a theory, we'll even be fair and say it's a conspiracy theory at QAnon level, conspiracy theory, but we'll call it, instead of calling it QAnon, call it Zachanon, a Zachanon theory that the Russians gave that information to Donald Trump and the Trump administration. I won't even say the Republican Party. And he knows things on people like Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, that if it came out publicly, it could be detrimental to their careers. And that is what I believe he holds over them. That is my theory. And I'm just simply expressing it and sharing it because it is widely shared on the internet, but it is a theory. There is no factual basis that I can find to support it or back it up. But that, Wayne, very well may be the answer to your question as we look at what this man right here, or as someone said, this MF has on these different people in power. And someone said he's not going anywhere. Watch out for Trump 24. Donald Trump very well may think he's going to be here in 24, but I do not believe that it's going to happen. I actually believe that we're going to see even more Republicans lose their offices if Raphael Warnock, a black man who grew up in the projects of Savannah, can become a United States senator against the wealthiest woman in the Senate and really one of the wealthiest women in the world. I don't believe the Republicans are going to be able to undo the damage they've done. If John Ossoff, who has lost repeatedly for public office, with no experience in public office, can beat David Perdue, another very wealthy senator, I think that we're going to be okay. I think that we're moving in the right direction as America. We just can't forget the work, and we cannot let it go. And I agree with you, Dr. Washington. 43 senators did indeed choose whiteness over democracy. And in addition to people choosing whiteness over democracy, it seems as though a lot of people are demanding justice over false conservatorship in the case of the one and only Brittany Spears. Our next story on the docket. Vince, this is something that I know you brought to the table. You recommended that I watch the documentary that's out all about, leave Brittany alone, free Britney Spears. Vince, tell us about it.
Hashtag free Britney. So I am, I guess I could say, a living witness to this entire story beginning to unfold. Literally this time last year, the hashtag sort of came about. And I've always been a Britney Spears fan. I was born in '89, but I'm a product of the 90s. So MTV, TRL, that whole, pandemonium, I grew up in the thick of it. So when Britney sort of renounced herself from that second leg of her residency, and she was definitely at a great place in her career, released a great album. She again got the residency. She just came off of X Factor. I want to say she probably made like close to $200 million off of 2 opportunities, just not including residuals and royalties and all the stuff she's done in her career. But she just sort of stopped out of nowhere. And people were trying to figure out, why did she stop out of nowhere? And so as the story unfolded, we recognized that a conservatorship definitely went left because allegedly her father was really trying to grab more of her estate, if you will. And she made it, she was very adamant that if she did not get out of that conservatorship with her father, that she would stop her career. And that sort of goes into why she pulled out of doing the residency and why we really haven't heard from her on the entertainment wise outside of her floating around on Instagram. And so she started doing some weird things on Instagram, and the fans started developing their conspiracy theories, and the fans started saying that she was being held hostage. And so they would literally be like, Brittany, if something is wrong with you, wear red in your next video. Then she'll turn around and wear red. Brittany, if something is wrong with you, wear a yellow flower in your next video. Then she'll wear a yellow flower in the next video. So here go my butt come February 2020. I'm like texting prayers and confessions like, Brittany, I hope you're okay. And somebody was deleting my stuff in real time. And many other people on her page were like, they deleted my comments. Somebody's controlling Britney Spears. So now pushing to February 2021, a lot of truth is coming out. And I want to say maybe 3-4 days ago that her father recently lost the dispute. He doesn't have the financial gains over her anymore. It's basically the financial company and Brittany now. So hopefully we can see her getting into a better place and she can feel comfortable and secure enough to speak out on her story. But all in all, for me, watching the entire documentary, I feel like in hindsight, it made us, as I feel like the media, as well as America or the world, just really think about how people were talking to her and treating her then. People could not get away with that now. Just how questions were being, the Diane Sawyer interview, all that stuff, people could not get away with that right now. And I feel like Whoopi said it best on The View. She said a lot of the world and the media definitely need to apologize to Brittany. It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu, and Quinn is coming up. We're talking about Justin Timberlake next, so hold your mule, but it's coming. He's on the docket. Justin is on the docket. Candy watched the documentary as well. Losing all their assets during the conservative process is atrocious.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. So my last piece is just highlighting that conservatorship. Like, how unfair is that? You get what I'm saying? Because they initially say conservatorship is for people that are, having mental issues once they get older, kind of thing. But when you got a person that's on court, and that's a dictionary, and they call it incompetent in the dictionary. But when you got a 39-year-old ultra mega pop star that's performing night after night, you got to remember routines. You got to executive produce stuff. How you incompetent?
Like, I'm getting text messages. I don't know why my friends won't put it in the chat, but they text me and they said, don't forget, be fair about Brittany's battles with mental illness. Britney Spears struggles with real mental illness. Now, Vince, you were a little boy. You were a little boy when Britney Spears out here shaking that toxic tail and, doing some things that were very, very challenging for us to have to watch as adults. You were young. You may not remember the things that she was doing. And I haven't watched the documentary yet. I'm going to. It's in queue. But when I saw Britney Spears have those absolute breakdowns, I was very afraid for her children. I was afraid for the life of her children. Now, I'm not certain I'm not saying the conservatorship is correct. I'm not. But I did do some research, and it showed that her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, is supporting the father in this situation where she's saying that Brittany is not wholly well at this moment and is unable to take care of her estate. Now, I'm not saying that the dad should have the estate, because this is the same man who was going to ship Jamie Lynn Spears away when she got pregnant and hide her from the world and then take her child. So there's a whole lot of dysfunction in this family. There's a lot of trauma and turmoil in the family. So I don't have an opinion about it. I'm just sharing what was texted to me. Don't forget her ongoing struggles with mental illness.
Now, in the documentary, it was also stated from close family and friends and reporters that during her mental breakdown, she was going through postpartum, which was not being talked about during that time. And in terms of my age, I feel like I was in my early teens. So yes, I wasn't like 4 or 5 years old when this was happening, because this was Give Me More era, right? So I was at FAMU. I was 18, 19 around that time. So I definitely was.
I thought you were a little older, but I do see the beard is coming in today. You're letting the beard grow out. You're trying to give us a little.
Thank you.
And also, you got Dr. Pickett, and you also have Zach Thomas. Both of you are well-known experts in this field. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts, especially around the mental illness piece and the nature of the conservatorship?
All right. So I'm gonna be surface. I ain't gonna go too deep. But
wait a minute, are you trying to say that we can't handle you going deep? Is that
no? Because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And because of the fact that you have an hour show, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But
thanks, CJ.
but there's all of y'all are making good points, and to the point of what Zach's persons were saying, you have to understand that first of all, a conservatorship only lasts 1 year. So it only lasts a year. So the fact that she had one for 13 years and it was extended for multiple times, you have to start asking let's be also mindful. Her father was also not the only person on there. She also had a conservator on there as well. There's an actual financial institution, and that's actually where the fight happened, because he ultimately wanted to share you know, because he's a conservator over certain things, but from her financial, her monetary aspect, he actually wanted to actually be a co for that finances. So, you know, I don't necessarily say I agree with that, but when it comes to, you know, the livelihood and her family, her children, you have to you have to kind of ask yourself a question: why hasn't a judge released her from this conservatorship? Like, not just talk about the father. Why hasn't a judge simply said, listen, we still need to keep this on file. We need to keep this on record. And so, yeah, I understand we love Brittany and everything else, but you have to also understand there's possibly a reason why they keep this in play. Her dad now has no access. He's denied access to the finances. So that's cool. But the question is he still the right person for all her other stuff? Because he's not necessarily handling her money, but he does handle some of the other things. And so that becomes the question. Now that we got him away from the funds, are they going to move forward with keeping him away from the others? And the next question becomes, if they do take him off as a conservator for his other stuff, the question becomes, do you give it back to Brittany? Is she capable? Is she stable enough to do so? And if not, who then takes over that responsibility? So we need to start having those conversations about her well-being and not just who has responsibility over her stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to go ahead, Zach, and put you up to cue you up. But before we go I need to address a comment here, because see, you know what? Last week I went on a beautiful block spree of people who were being transphobic on my page and talking ill of women who happen to be trans. And I found a lot of joy in blocking people. Let me tell you something here, James L. Johnson, you can get blocked. I'll take you and your cat, both the Waffle House crew, and go ahead and block you both. Continue on, Zach Thomas.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with Dr. Pickett. I think the major point of this whole topic is her mental health. And if we're not having a conversation about that, then there's no need to talk. I think there is also another issue. Why is there constant issues with the family? She's not in good taste with her mom. If the sister is saying that she still needs her dad on there, then now the dad was the only person in the picture, like who else does she have left? And so I know we're going to talk a little bit more about Justin Timberlake and all that stuff, but I do think the mental health issue and the family issue are two of the bigger things that we need to be talking about.
This is a real issue. I'm going to be very honest with you. I have seen a number of people in the Black community say exactly what Facebook user has said, is that I don't care, moving right along. So, I will say this. I care about everybody, and the issue of mental health is very, very real. And anybody being done wrong resonates with me. Again, a major issue for me right now is transphobia. I am not trans. I don't have a lot of trans friends. I welcome them. I want to become more educated because of the violence happening against Black trans women or Black women who happen to be trans. And it's a real issue. And to have seen the amount of just negativity I got on one post that I made has really impacted me to make me say that, I need to be a real affirming ally to this community. And so again, Britney Spears, if she is being done wrong, I feel as though we have a moral imperative to at least discuss it and share it among all communities, including this Black community that we primarily serve. And you're right, Dr. Woodson, if you get that block, it will bless you. It will bless you in more ways than one.
And we're gonna move on. I guess my only fear with that statement and comment is the fact that we can't be picky and choosy about who we support and who we don't support because of the fact, we got to be very picky because of the fact that we have been on this show and talked about somebody who had issues.
Wendy Williams.
And then we make and I'm not going to bring the hash it up. It's just that we just have to be very careful because issues are issues. Whether it's
like drug addiction, you're right. Drug addiction is a type of mental illness.
So we have to, and so if that is an issue, we have to let people know that every voice matters and every issue matters. And so we have to be very careful about not putting that narrative out there. So I just want to address that as well.
I just think that I just believe that I'm going to stay out of these white people business.
And so, and I'm going to stay out of the cocaine addict's business as well, Dr. Pickett. So, you know, and again, we all have struggles, and I will continue to pray for Whitney Williams, and I will continue to pray for her supporters who are adamant and ardent about bringing her back up on the show. As we talk about people like Wendy Williams, we're also talking, you know, you're right, Quinn, I don't think she has. But this is the thing. I don't think that Britney Spears she doesn't manage her own platform. I think that's part of the problem. She isn't managing her own platform. Like, I don't think Britney gets to do and manage her own social media. And again, Facebook users, let me tell you something right here. When you get you 4 guys to get on live, then you can also get on there and you can change the topic when you so desire as well. And you're right, Candy. Wendy is not the only cocaine addict. You know, we all have our struggles. And Rhonda, I love you so much, and you know, hope you and the family are doing well. Let me tell you who also some of us are hoping they're doing well, but a lot of people last week, they are not hoping he's doing well. There's a whole entire movement afoot to cancel JT. When I talk about JT, I'm talking about the one and only Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake, these are 2 images from him. He was highlighted, Vince, I think, in that Hulu. You think you tell me what to do?
Don't do it, Zach. Don't let
I won't do it because you said not to, Darius. As we slowly move into Pisces season. So in this documentary, I know that Justin came up, and there was large calls from a lot of communities last week for him to address what we called back in my day Nipplegate with Janet Jackson, as well as how he may have been a contributing factor to the abuse that Britney Spears has endured in the public eye. This is what I want to know, Jimmy. What are your thoughts? Should we cancel JT, or is it time to just let the past be the past?
This is just more white privilege. So there's nothing else for me. I mean, truly, because again, he's only relevant. It's only canceling because it's only canceling because of Brittany. So now we bring Brittany back into the phase again because of the fact that he, because he treated her wrong in 2020 and 2002 and everything else. Again, this is simply promotional publicity. Again, more white privilege. And I say I'm still over them too. So that's all I got to say about both of them.
I'm with you, Dr. Pickett. And then the fact that the apology was like a group apology, like how genuine can an apology be when it's like, oh, I guess, by the way, 20 years later, I need to apologize to Janet Jackson and to Britney Spears. Like, who at this point, if Janet accepts the apology, then sure. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
And I'm just playing with whoever Facebook user is. I'm truly not being serious at all, guys. But here's the thing. So Vince, can you give us in the documentary what it said? I will say this, and he does. You're right, Chris. He does have a brand new movie out called Palmer, and the new movie's coming out. So all of these allegations and calls to cancel him are probably coming at a really bad time for his career, because as you know, Justin Timberlake took some time away for his life with his wife, his kids. He's married to Jessica Alba. He took a little bit of time away. And now he's kind of coming back, and this is happening at a really bad time for what could be a relaunch of his film career. So I want to know, Vince, do you remember what the documentary said? Because I can, tell what I know about what he's accused of.
Yeah, I can. I'm just a little taken by some of these comments that are happening right now. But nevertheless, the issue with Justin was in the midst of, post their breakup, in interviews, he was just basically operating as a misogynist. They were interrogating him. Justin, did you smash Brittany? He's like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. In the Diane Sawyer interview, Brittany, what did you do to hurt Justin? It was never, did he hurt you? Or, stuff like that. So he was apologizing for basically just running her through the ringer and never being accountable of it. And then, of course, that stemmed to the Janet situation. We know it was a wardrobe malfunction. He never came out, spoke against it. And then apparently it's a video going on right now with him performing with Kylie Minogue. And apparently at some Grammy Awards, they were presenting an award together. And he asked if he could grab her on the ass. And she said no. And then they did another live performance, and he was trying to be more provocative with her than she wanted him to be. So that video is starting to resurface. So this is just, I guess, to everybody's point, the whole, just the white male instinct, white male privilege in the entertainment industry, and just his turn, I guess, to being held accountable, which is what I feel the world has sort of been doing in many instances, whether you've been wrong, regardless of what color you are or what culture or race you belong to, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Vince, did in the documentary, because I know exactly what Chris is talking about. So when we were a little bit younger, you would have things like Tiger Beat and all these magazines, and they always tried to say that Justin and they made them like a couple. But we also know now that many times that was all for the politics. All for the media and the show. It wasn't real. Did Justin and Brittany in the documentary, were they really dating? Did it talk about that?
It didn't talk about their relationship in depth. It didn't. So I'm just going off of me living in the time. I assumed it was dating,
And yeah,
but
they were like dating.
They did date.
In a political move. Okay. I get what you're saying, but they dated.
But also there was a music video that he did for Cry Me a River. He had a Britney Spears lookalike, and the implication was that Britney had cheated on him. And so that was a big thing as well, was that she caught a lot of the heat from him saying that she had cheated on him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And again, it is a new day, and everything that's coming through in the comments, I think they're very accurate to what extent that, did Justin Timberlake, use cultural appropriation to advance his career without giving credit to the community that he stole from. I don't know if I agree about Robin Thicke necessarily doing that same extent, but I've always felt that way about Justin Timberlake, because I do not feel as though he actually gave back to the community. I think Robin Thicke did a little bit more for the Black community. I think he gave back to the Black community. We all know that, he married him to the community, although he's no longer, he cheated on the wife he married to, but I don't think they're the same. I would think that they may be a little different. The whole entire issue around appropriation and some of the racial issues there, what do you guys think about the whole Nipplegate controversy and what Janet Jackson is coming out and saying? That, I remember when that happened, and like Janet went on Oprah, she told us out the story. It really did hurt. I was shocked that it hurt her career, but it really did have an impact on her career. Whereas it hurt her career, it benefited Justin's career. With that being said, somebody earlier said, let's put him on probation. Is it really time to cancel him altogether, gentlemen? Are we for a cancel of JT?
I don't think so. I think, and this is me speaking from my DI background, sometimes it takes people longer to come to their realization of their privilege. Not everybody believes that they have privilege right off the bat. It takes some people a minute to understand that. And so I think this is taking him some minute. As far as the treatment of Janet, I do think she was treated worse than he was, even though he played a part in it. And I don't think she's completely honest in it as well. I was driving early, and I recently heard somebody on the radio talking about, Janet knows she had some role in that too. She just needs to take ownership as well. And I think both of them are complicit in that whole Nipplegate. But I don't think it's time.
It was arranged. That was a plan.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to cancel him. I think there might be some educational pieces that could happen during this for him. But probation, but if he's using this for the wrong reason to market or pub his new movie or his new music, I think, let's cancel his ass. But if not, I don't think it's time to cancel just because he came out with an apology, because not everybody is on the same journey when it comes to understanding their privilege, understanding the cultural appropriation. And then also with cultural appropriation, I think it's hard sometimes to navigate that piece, solely because, like, I don't know your experience of your life. Like, are we to say somebody who grew up adopted in a Black culture is appropriating a Black culture? So I think there's some nuances there that we need to unpack. And so that's just my little insight.
Thank you, Chris. I'm glad. And I was trying to formulate the words, because what she just said literally makes me think about the Chrisette Michele situation with her singing at Trump's inauguration or whatever happened. She got dragged, her career suffered. We still cancel Chrisette Michele, but people do not remember that it was two artists on that stage. Travis Green, a well-known gospel and worship leader, she was singing his song. She was an accompaniment to his song. But yet and still, in all these mega churches across the world, we sing all these Travis worship song. This man walked off and said nothing to Chrisette Michele, going by his business, making his millions, making crazy money in the gospel industry, and she had set to suffer, and she's been suffering all along. So I agree with you, Chris. Is it really privilege or just a double standard that men can get away with some things that women can't? And I don't know, maybe it's just my personal experience to what Zach said, me just growing up from a single mother, single parent household, being the single mother, and just seeing, you know, the things that she went through and the door she had to kick down and fight through. So maybe I'm more passionate with seeing women and justice. So that's why I don't see the color thing in terms of the Brittany. Well, she's white, has she opened her door for black people, and all that bullshit. Like, bro, what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right. And I feel like if you continue to live and breathe in that mindset, you are now becoming a part of the larger issue, which goes back to the political world, which like all of that. It's like you if we're gonna call a thing, we're gonna call a thing a thing, and we can't double dutch and pick and choose when we gonna be operating in integrity.
And I don't no, sorry, go ahead, Darius.
No, I was just gonna say that male privilege is a thing, so it's still privilege. It's just privilege, not from the racial standpoint, but from the male standpoint. And then also, I don't know that Travis Green was as big a name as Chrisette Michele, because I just had to Google him, and I still don't exactly know who he is.
Yeah, what is he saying?
So I did not pull up any songs immediately. Made Away, intentional.
Yeah, he intentional Made Away. He a lot of gospel.
You Made Away? I love Made Away. I gotta stop listening to Made Away. Now y'all gonna make me cancel one of my favorite Impact DCD songs, Made Away.
But I do want to, if I could, I do want to be, and that's belabor it. You know, we're talking about this cancel culture, and going back to your original question is, you know, should we cancel him? Everything else, I kind of get slightly, I get touchy sometimes when we go through this cancel culture thing, because I think sometimes I think some people just look for any reason to cancel somebody. I don't think really people even know why they're canceling people, because, for instance, if you're not a pop culture person, if you're not anything else, why are you even concerned about canceling a Justin Timberlake? It's almost to me like somebody who is not even a football watcher talking about they're going to boycott watching the NFL. You don't watch football. So what are you boycotting the NFL for? So it's like, I think we look for reasons to cancel and to boycott. It ain't even that serious. If you don't want to listen to his music, if you don't believe in him, guess what? Stop listening. But if you weren't even a part of the initiative, if you're a part of pop culture, leave it the hell alone. So I don't want us to get also at this point we feel like we got to cancel everything and everybody because we jumped on the bandwagon for everybody. That's what I think, for me, I think that's what's damaging to the cancel culture, because we're canceling people because everybody got in a hoopla and we don't know the real reasons why, and we're not giving justification. So we got to be careful with that too. But that's just me.
I'm just going to give just a little pushback to that. I think we've had this conversation about cancel culture before. The main thing is that we're just being more conscious about where we spend our money and whose families we feed with our support. And so my only pushback to that is, I don't care who you are. I don't watch football. And I'm going to make sure that my people who do watch football know that this person did this person, or this organization did this. I think that everyone should be working to bring awareness, no matter who it is, what lane it is, because at the end of the day, you're not going to feed your racist family with my hard-earned Black dollars. And
I get that, but like, for me, I'm a coffee drinker. So when I felt when Starbucks went and made that issue about the Black Lives Matter, they were not going to allow their individuals to wear Black Lives Matter stuff, I took a stance because it affected me, and I was not going to let my money spend. But one of the things that I'm not a huge football watcher, because I'm a huge NFL watcher. I am more so. So what I did was I took that initiative, and so if I knew that, because that's the premise we're doing, I took my interest elsewhere and put that emphasis elsewhere. I don't watch NFL. So me talking about I'm going to boycott. I'm not going to watch it on Sundays and everything else. My ass wasn't watching on Sundays anyway. So for me to be sitting there boycotting, it didn't make any sense for me. So that didn't come out of my mouth. What I'm simply saying is we got to be careful about these individuals who jump on the bandwagon of cancel culture and don't know why they're canceling people. And so now we got all these people canceling people, and we don't know the reason why. It's one thing about bringing awareness, and it's another about bringing stupidity to an issue. So that's my whole thing. Let's be very mindful and cognizant of that.
Or even cancel. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, and as Candy said, It's about bringing awareness. And I like that. So some of us, like, again, I was going to say before we even went down this road, I don't have to cancel JT because he already been canceled. I ain't never liked him. I've never liked Justin Timberlake. I didn't like what he brought to the table. I didn't like him. Never liked him. So I can't cancel him because I've never supported him. But I do think it's important to bring awareness to other people around the issues so they can be informed as well. I was amazed to find out the real demographics that really, guys, about 90% of people in America really weren't following. They didn't watch the news and didn't follow the news very heavily. So little things that we post on social media is a chance to educate people that otherwise may not know what's happening. And so that's what I think is a big part of our responsibility. And again, Facebook, the Starbucks Facebook user, I agree. I also, took part in that because as a coffee drinker, I also chose to book out Starbucks. What I want to know, guys, are we now going to boycott this? Everybody watching, you may not recognize her because I actually do not watch this show either. But this is a news story that has really been interesting for me to watch. And so I definitely want to bring awareness around what's happening on ABC's The Bachelor. This is a young lady from Georgia. Her name is Rachel Kirkconnell. She is not a Kirk. She is not a real, true, bona fide Kirk. She is a Kirkconnell. So don't you dare make that mistake. I'm a Kirk. She's a Kirkconnell. But Rachel Kirkconnell from Georgia is a young white woman on The Bachelor, and she is considered to be the top contender for The Bachelor's love, and this is The Bachelor. His name is Matt James. He is the first Black Bachelor in franchise history, which to me is a little bit odd and a little bit concerning in and of itself. Let me give you the controversy around what has happened. So with Matt James being the first Bachelor, these are all the young ladies that he had to choose from. And again, I don't watch The Bachelor because I think it's rooted in ignorant misogyny in the first place. Nor do I watch The Bachelorette. The whole concept to me isn't something that I really support and believe in. But here we have the young ladies that he could choose from. And in these choices, this is the young lady who is Quinn. We are going to talk about the allegation. We can talk about it. This is a young lady who everyone thinks he's going to be with. This is a young lady he has a match with. This is the first young lady to tell him that she loves him, that he told her, I'm feeling love for you back. Or she said, I'm falling for you. And he said, I'm falling back. Well, this young lady posted some things in the past that were very concerning. Number one, she used to bully her friends and people at her school for dating Black guys. She literally has text messages where she called these girls bullying names because they dated Black men. She is in a sorority and she would attack her sorority sisters for dating Black men and embarrassing the sorority. In addition to that, in the images that you see here, you have a picture of her dressed up in Indian, racist Native American appropriation attire. And you also have her at what was a plantation party thrown by her sorority. The issue is getting bigger and bigger. We're going to go to where it goes next. But gentlemen, with that being stated, do you guys have in all of our viewers, any comments yet? Because Chris Harrison, the host of The Bachelor, has also kind of ruined his career in what he did in defense of Rachel Kirkconnell. So anything to say before I give you the second part of the story real quick, or no? We're good.
This sounds like the makings of Us Too, a Jordan Peele movie. Y'all remember Us? Little white girl was out there getting all the rich and potentially rich Black men and sleeping them in and all that stuff. That's what it sounds like.
Get out. Need to wipe the grip
off of this.
Yeah, that was Get Out.
Yeah. Same director or same writer, but different. But yeah, I did a quick Google search. She went to Georgia College and State in not Eastgate. Okay, Quinn. He went to Georgia College and State, and she went to Georgia College and State in Milledgeville, or Millie Vegas, as they like to call it. Who else did we just say was from Milledgeville? What's the lady's name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, who else is from Milledgeville? Honey Boo Boo. Like, it's just, y'all, none of this surprises me. And my mama, you almost let me go to Georgia College and State over Morehouse. Oh, girl, I'm just so
Well,
glad that we dodged that bullet.
And the
Well,
sad
keep
thing
going.
about it, and the sad thing about it is this show doesn't even. The reason why it's been 20 years since a black person in there because our tails ain't going on no damn Bachelor or Bachelorette, putting ourselves out there on no dang on Bachelor and Bachelorette doing this foolishness. We don't do all this. This is for them. So
Nah, but we'll go on VH1 and be on I Love New York and be on Chance and Flavor Love and all that. So it's just the same, just a different network, to be honest.
yeah, but but I think the thing about it was I don't ever think that the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, it's kind of like wanting to be a part of a system that I don't think was ever set up for you in the first place. So it's like I don't even think this. So I'm like, it is what it is. But Zach.
So
no, keep going, Zach. Talking about your cousin.
No, and so we had a Facebook user. I do not think. I'm going to tell you what's now happening is could very well be the end of the whole entire Bachelor franchise. The Bachelor is one of the most successful shows on ABC. It brings in some of the largest amount of revenue, and it keeps other parts of their franchise working. So, like you have shows like Entertainment Tonight. They usually anchor on The Bachelor. It's like a lot of Bachelor talk on Entertainment Tonight. Good Morning America. Lots of talk around The Bachelor. Live with Kelly and Ryan. They talk about The Bachelor. So The Bachelor is an integral part.
Talks about The Bachelor.
That's right. So yeah, as they bring in the people. So the same way that you have The Bachelor as a foundational piece of ABC, just like Dancing with the Stars, there are certain shows that become a linchpin for the network to build their brand on. So I'm going to tell you, Facebook user, I don't think that this was at all known or planned. I think that they did not do a good job of vetting through carefully, and I don't think they thought that Rachel Kirkconnell was going to be Matt's choice. I don't think so. And so now what happened is that this is the host of The Bachelor, and he went on a talk show extra with wrong topic. I didn't put it in with the first Black Bachelorette. So the first Black Bachelorette, her name is Rachel Lindsay. And Rachel is a correspondent for Extra TV, and she interviewed the host of The Bachelor who came on the show. And he was defending her. And this is what he specifically said. He said, if this was happening in 2018, before America became so woke, would it be a big deal? What Rachel did, dressing up in plantation wear, wearing the Indian headdress, would it be a big deal? And of course, we know it'd be a huge deal. It's always wrong to do what she did. Being racist has been wrong from the beginning. But he said that those words came out of his mouth, and actually it began an immediate movement for him to leave or get fired. And in this morning, he stepped down. He took a break from the show. So this is an example of quick canceling that happened within a weekend, 40 hours. He was canceled, and active action took place. I believe that this is pretty much going to be the end of the franchise.
Didn't he continuously make reference to the fact that he kept saying, I'm not the woke police?
He kept saying that he kept saying that when the woke police decides it's time to cancel someone, or when the woke police decides to do something, he was continuously attacking the notion of wokeism, which is a brand new conservative move to tear down our ability to mandate and control culture, which is the only power, that structure that we do control.
Well, I don't think it's the end of the franchise, to be honest. And I don't think it's the end of him as the host. I think this is a PR marketing strategy right now for him stepping back. And a prime example of that is, Zach, I know one time you canceled, what's his name? Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon. And who's coming back? Who's coming back as the host for a while now? Nick Cannon. And so I think it's just, I'm stepping away for a moment to, my name is no longer in the lights, and then I'll see you later next week.
Right. Yeah, and we'll see. But this is the thing. So yeah, I'm not going to watch Wild 'N Out. I'm not going to support Nick Cannon. I'm glad that you guys may be doing so. You seem very excited, Vince, to support Nick Cannon. I know you may love him, and that's great. Whatever you love, you love. I'm not going to be able to watch and support it. And we will see how the show does in the ratings. We'll see who watches the show once it returns, and we'll see if he's able to continue on in the same format. You're right, Zach. He may not be canceled. We will see. I am glad, though, that he is stepping away and that ABC is taking responsibility for his racist comments, and that they see the wrong in what he did. Yeah, maybe he'll have his paperwork in order. If it was up to me, his paperwork would be burned up in the trash. Like he doesn't belong on TV. When you're an anti-Semitic and you're a hotep homophobe, you don't need to be on my television. And so, this past weekend was thoughts, comments. I see several faces. We can put you right here on the big screen. And with that being said, it was a weekend full of love. Everyone, today is President's Day. We are celebrating presidents past and present, from President Barack Hussein Obama all the way to Joe Biden. Do we have any other presidents to celebrate?
Oh,
Darius, is that Gorilla Glue?
No, it's some disinfectant spray.
Oh, okay.
I smelled something between that Barack Obama and that Joe Biden that was just a little.
But seriously, gentlemen, it is President's Day. Do we have other presidents that we want to uplift and say thank you for your service to our country? I'm serious.
I'm sorry to this man. I don't know. But those two.
I want to shout out China Lee, the president of my beta club from elementary school. I think that she did a phenomenal job. She's one of my best friends to this day. I really love you, China.
I'll just simply say I want to say necessarily celebrate. I think I don't know. I'm not gonna say celebrate, because even the two, there were some issues there as well. So you really can't really. I'm not gonna say celebrate, but I will say you do have to acknowledge that we've had 46 presidents. So whether we like them or not, I just simply say, unfortunately, because of the fact that we can't, you can't erase history as much as now we can acknowledge the fact that we had somebody get impeached twice. We can. So at the end of the day, you still have to acknowledge the fact that they're presidents. We may not like them, can't stand Bush, may not like it, but at the end of the day, for instance, you have to highlight the fact that even in the state of the country, he at least brought the country together to do 9/11 for a brief moment. You may not be able to talk about Lyndon B. Johnson. You may not want to talk about President Lincoln. You may not want to talk about Hoover. These are certain presidents who've actually done things in times of crises, but you may not want to like them, but you do have to acknowledge the fact that they did have to serve as presidents, and there's been 46 of them. So
can we add Bill? I know some people like him.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out there for you guys to tell me, who are the other presidents that we want to, mention. Again, for me personally, I can't, my top two, hands down, President Barack Hussein Obama, followed by President Joseph R. Biden. But if I'm going to be, fair, I'm not a huge, I'm not anti Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Ulysses S. Grant, in that order, followed by John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, tied for what will come next. So that would be my personal ranking of all the presidents that I would recognize, and the only ones. And you know what? Maybe at the very end, I put in Truman as well. So that would be my list. But again, yeah, maybe then and only then would I do that. And if we were going to, I agree with, we have some comments here. Yep, disqualified. There was a lot of racism in there. That's a perfect way to put us, acknowledge and listen like they did Black Lives Matter. I agree with you, Kanito, to acknowledge some of the president's wives and the role that they've played in the course of American history, like Eleanor Roosevelt, as well as Hillary Clinton, of course, First Lady, forever First Lady Michelle Obama, maybe Betty Ford for what she was able to do for alcohol abuse and that work around Jacqueline Kennedy and Rosalind Carter. And you're right, President Carter was a good man. We acknowledge him. And again, I've never not been a fan of President Clinton. So it's just something to think about as we celebrate. Quinn, we're not going to be celebrating Fitzgerald Grant.
Now that was a good show. Oh my God. No, that was a good show.
Fitzgerald and Millie.
Did Millie become president?
She did.
She did become president. Yes, she did.
Wow. Okay. And First Lady.
I also recognize I also recognize Sam. What's the
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. He was president. What's Debo? He was president.
Gina Davis has been
Gina
president.
Davis was president. Who else was president? We had a black president. We had another black president. We had another. Who was another black president? Somebody, I don't know, but we recognize. Oh, Jamie Foxx. Yes, he was president. So
my grandma was the president. My grandma was the president of the missionary board. I'm gonna add her in there.
So we celebrate all the presidents that are there today. And in addition to today being President's Day, yesterday we celebrated Valentine's Day. You want to say, DeAndre?
I'm sorry, I was going to say, but in all seriousness, we do need to recognize and highlight, and his name just got lost on me, so Wayne, give it to me. The new president, the incoming president at Old Dominion, who is the first African-American to be the president at
Brian
Old
Hemwell.
Dominion. Yes.
Brian Hemwell.
Yeah, so that is actually, so we're talking about president, that is actually a true president to recognize because of the fact that he is stepping into that role. So congratulations to him.
I did not know this. There's a lot about, I didn't know this about President Lincoln. And again, you're right. The dude from the Nationwide commercial was the gentleman who was the president on 24, as Dr. Washington said earlier. And then from there, though, as we move on into our last topic, always great to end on a high note. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. And this was, and Chris, we got to also recognize her grandmother, Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to run for president, as well as, again, Chris's granny, who was president of the Northeastern Eastern Star or New England Eastern Star. I'm not sure what in Northeast stand for, but we love Granny too, and it does count today. And let me tell you something: if Donald J. Trump can claim any kind of presidency, then every president who's ever sat in any presidency can be recognized on this our American President's Day. This was a great article that talks about love. There's a lot of things that we worry about, a lot of things that impact the mental health of Black men. Russell Wilson, of course, is the quarterback, NFL superstar, a continuous MVP for the Seattle Seahawks. And of all the things in the world on this weekend when we celebrated love, the greatest fear he has in his whole entire life, by his own admission, is this: losing Sierra is his biggest fear. What a Valentine's Day sentiment. Gentlemen, viewers, what do you think about Russell Wilson's greatest fear as our way to celebrate and recognize Black love?
I plead the fifth, from where he came from before to where he is now. So if you look up who he had before. So
who did he have before? But maybe that's why he recognizes the value of Sierra, because he has someone that just didn't even compare, that couldn't compare to the type of love he feels for Sierra.
And I'm saying that because I have met and hung out with him and his ex before when he was in college, and so it was it was toxic. So I'm glad he's happy.
That's it. And Candace, Russell is a Pisces. And Sierra is a Scorpio. So,
speaking of the Pisces and the love with the Scorpio, Zach set me up, y'all. Zach was supposed to be filtering applications. I was supposed to have interviews on yesterday. So, in lieu of doing my interviews, I just slept through the day, and we'll try this again next February 14th, 2022. The application process is closed.
So here we have Russell Wilson is putting fear in the Negroes' hearts because some folks look up to rappers like Future, who treats their partners in a very negative way, whereas Russell is out here threatening toxic masculinity and advocating happiness with the married family. I think that's a very profound statement that I'm inclined to say I agree with 100%. I think that this kind of portrayal and this kind of vulnerability in the public eye is needed in the Black community, but Dr. Woodson gives it a side eye. Tell us why. I think this is could be a controversial topic. I would love to know more, Dr. Woodson, why you would say that. And Chris says she's not mad about it. Facebook, yeah, he could have come up with something better. Many people are saying it's sweet, cute, and dreamy. Sierra was his come up. I love this approach, Quinn. Many people would say the opposite, but I agree with you. I think that Sierra was his come up, especially what Zach just said.
And vice versa.
Well, why do you say that, Darius? Because that's what many people say, that Sierra came up when she married Russell. I think Russell came up when he married Sierra because his ex-wife looked a mess.
And Sierra was with Future.
She was. And he was toxic.
And their son calls Russell dad. So I think that's sweet. But yeah, I think that it was a mutual come up, and everyone wants to know what Sierra's prayer was. So that's what we're waiting for.
Or what Sierra had, Sierra's gifts. I think I may know Sierra's gift. Kanita, what do you mean? I didn't know that there were issues with codependency. What do you mean by that? Facebook user is getting some credit here. Yeah, I'm glad that he loved. Yep, I think that, again, this is about Black love in the moment. Because again, and there's nothing wrong with interracial relationships. Everyone knows that. I would say that. But in regards to his first wife, she was not Black. She wasn't a Black woman. I agree with that, Chris. They could be seen as a come up for each other. And you're right, Quinn. Future was very disrespectful to Sierra, and he's still disrespectful to Sierra. And he himself is self-proclaimed toxic. And to be fair, since we're calling out horoscopes, Future too is a Scorpio. So let me be fair and transparent in that revelation as well. I want to know about the codependency issues. I think somebody brought it up. I don't know about that. And then Dr. Woodson explained, I'm always there when people feel the need to profess things like this for articles. It should be evident. And the greatest fear just simply pushing it. Time will tell. And then, yeah, okay, so I can't wait to give you guys a phone call on three-way so you guys can tell me about this first wife, since you guys both have firsthand experience of that. Gentlemen, can anyone here say that has been your greatest fear, is losing a partner or a love that you have in your life, not from a family member, but from a relationship? Has anyone experienced that type of love?
I typically don't date people that I need. I date people that I want. So when I don't want them anymore, I know I'll be okay.
That was a profound statement. That was a profound statement. That right there could be put on the shirt. Like, I don't date people I need. I date people I want. So when I don't want them anymore, I can move on.
I think my fear has not been that. I think my fear is that I become that the person I love and I'm with, I become toxic, that drives them away. I think that's been my fear, that I become the toxic one, that I drive them away. I don't think I put that much emphasis in losing someone. I put more emphasis of what am I going to do to cause it.
And I think I'm kind of on the same. I think my fear is mostly that I fear that I'm going to be so into this person that I lose myself. And so that's one thing that I constantly try to check, especially within relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We do need Facebook users to reveal themselves, because I need to give Facebook user a dragon, like a dragon ain't been gave. We gonna wait. You gonna be revealed, Facebook user. I'm gonna find out, figure out who you are. And when I do, you better hope I don't know you. You better hope you one of these people that's on Darius's free feed.
I feel like it's CJ.
It might be CJ. It could be sneaking around with a sassy beard, laying into these keys.
Well, I'm gonna say this really quickly. I'm a Pisces.
It might be Star Jones. Y'all continue.
I'm a Pisces. My birthday is in 2 weeks. And then to Quinn's point about making people seem disposable, it's not about people being disposable. It's about being so content within yourself that you don't need external factors to determine whether or not you will be okay. So that was more about my personal being okay and less about the other person being disposable.
So when you say external factors, is that in terms of like materialistic things, or what if he's purely coming from a place of spirituality, mentally, emotionally, just on an internal thing? Like, does it necessarily towards what's tangible, what you can touch.
Right. When I talk about what I need or what I want, I'm talking about personally. I'm talking about not needing other people to fulfill my needs. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the things that people do for you. I'm talking about the way that they make you feel. In terms of a complete picture, I don't need another person to be content within myself. Does that make more sense for you, Vince?
Yeah.
Okay. And Chris, when we find out who this Facebook user is on behalf of, because I'm a Scorpio, we're gonna come together, me and you, Chris, and we're gonna handle this user. And it is a happy early birthday for Darius. Darius will be with us on his birthday for a special broadcast on that Monday. We can't wait. We're gonna do something great, for it. Something great. That's right. We love our Aries, and we love hearts and don't play. That's right. They don't play with them. And you cleaned that up very nicely, Darius. That's his talent.
I don't have to clean up shit.
See, Facebook user coming for you too. Disregard this. And so with that being disregard this whole statement, Aries and Scorpios are phenomenal friends and great match. My beloved grandmother was an Aries, so I will not say anything because the ancestors are with me at all times. I love you, Granny. With that being said, this is a really great time to go ahead and kind of we're ready to roll on and move forward. Mama said, she agrees it's probably time.
I love you, Mama.
Gentlemen, there's a lot that everybody has going on. What's happening? Dr. Pickett, who are you interviewing next week? We're going to tune in. Are you taking it? I know your show is it every Monday or are you rolling?
So it's back to every Monday. Next week. So I did a segment last season called As a Man and As a Woman Thinketh. And what I did was I brought topics together and actually had men and women discuss them just from different perspectives. That's actually now going to be a segment that happens every fourth Monday. And so that's going to be next week. And then the following week, I'm actually going to have my baby sister on with me discussing and talking about sibling, just issues with, just growing up in a single parent home. Events, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it was like growing up here, talk about being an uncle, dad, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so Vince, Darius, an uncle dad is just simply someone who is an uncle who also has to at times play dad because of the fact of, just the roles you play. That's what an uncle dad is. And so we're just going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. And so we have a lot of people going on. So check that out on Monday nights at 7:00 on Pickett Speaks Live on different platforms.
We will definitely check it out. I typically try to get on and then I try to share it as well. So next Monday, I'm definitely going to take his post and then I'll share it on my feed as well as in 3+1 Media and Five Guys because you're a friend of the show. And that way, anyone who can catch it can also enjoy it. Or you can go on DeAndre's platform. I don't know if DeAndre has any room yet. Is there a Pick Ed Speaks group they can join to see it?
They literally just look up Pick Ed Speaks. Yes, Candace, I believe I told you. I believe that's exactly what it is.
Definitely, CJ.
Because he is ready for us to move on, and he is not even here. Vince, we know also that you have a slew of upcoming things happening, including a tour that you're on. Is there anything that you can share with our viewers, or anything that they can check out and support you in?
You just pretty much said it all. I'm going on tour this Friday. We're leaving for Concord, New Hampshire. So I've never been up there. I'm very curious to see how that demographic is. One thing that I really love about going on tour is it puts you in a perspective, especially in the political world we're living in, because being in Atlanta, you get so safe and secure in things. But when I did a show in Springfield, Ohio, in the middle of America, and it's like, oh, now I see why y'all vote the way y'all vote, So it's that kind of thing. So all in all, I will say, if you want to follow me on Instagram at Vince Ashton, I do plan to do a vlog this tour. I actually got 2 more dates as well. We ended it in San Diego in May, and then I'll be back in Springfield in March. So I am completely booked all the way up to May. I'm grateful for that. So yeah, thank you, Candace. So yeah, follow me at Miss Ashton. I'm on a vlog, and I really want to just dig in to see how certain cities and states are, handling COVID and just all of that. So I'm excited. Outside of course, performing entertainment.
We're excited for you as well. Like I'm excited to see it. New Hampshire is great, but the snow right now is awful. Dr. Wilson, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. I don't think New Hampshire is so great. I've been to New Hampshire several times for work, and I will say this: New Hampshire was way more rural than I thought it was. And New Hampshire is a little bit less progressive than the rest of New England, in my opinion. So it seems it's very rural, and it's not as progressive in their thinking. And as a result, it's not as developed. Like New Hampshire and Massachusetts, night and day difference, and Vermont, totally different feel. So I'm excited to see what you think, and we can talk about it when you return. I have also gone to Concord, so I'm excited to see. I'm glad everybody's following. Darius, you always have so many big things happening. What's the next big event? What's happening?
I'm chilling right now, Zach. I may have some big announcements coming up. I have a couple of things in the works, but you never let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. I'll let y'all know when the ink is dry. But other than that, I'm chilling. If you have not purchased your copy of DJ's Favorite Day, it is on Amazon. So check that out. And the link is in my bio at this Instagram right here.
And Zach Thomas, anything that you can share?
No, just super busy with diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. As you know, Black History Month, Women's History Month, and then as well as my consulting has been taken off. So double booked for several different things with different companies and agencies. So yeah.
And that's what I was wondering, to what extent you could share that. So I want to give a huge congratulations to our mutual friend CJ, who was with us. I don't know if he's still here, who just purchased a home. Congratulations, we're proud of you. It's a different CJ. But Zach also, again, doing a lot of consulting around diversity and inclusion, and really helping large companies, Fortune 500 corporations, as well as college campuses, learn how to be responsive to the needs of all of their students, whether it's a matter of race, whether it's a matter of gender, sexual identity, whether it's a matter of religion or religious beliefs. All of that falls under his purview. He really is becoming a national expert in the field. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very thankful for it. I also want to say that anyone who's watching, please do support former cast member Rodney Wash. He has a podcast that you can download on any podcast platform called Combo with Friends, and you may really enjoy it, as well as he's having a book signing. Darius, do you know, I know that anyone watching will go to Rodney's page on Instagram or Facebook to see that. But do you know the actual date of the book signing? Because it would be wonderful if our Five Guys community could surround him and support him. If you haven't bought his book, Media World Through My Eyes, you may definitely want to do that.
Yeah, so it is occurring this Saturday, from Saturday the 20th, from 1 to 3 p.m. And it is in Atlantic Station. So if you want more details, be sure to check out his Instagram page, just so that we can, show him some love and some support as he continues to work towards showing us what the media world is through his eyes.
And continuing to blossom and soar high. Vince.
Say that again. I was having speaker issues. What did you say you went out?
Oh, you looked like you were excited. Like there was a flash of excitement.
Oh, because I'm finally in agreement that Facebook user is definitely CJ. With that response, like 1000%. But no, real quick, y'all, if you in Atlanta or if you ever plan on coming to Atlanta, I went to Blaze Seafood and Steakhouse Candy and Ty's new restaurant today. The lamb chops were amazing.
Wait, now where did you go?
Blaze Seafood and Steakhouse Candy and Ty's restaurant off of Cascade.
Oh, I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, they have a new restaurant. I thoroughly enjoyed everything. It was really good. They social distance. The waiters wore a mask. I couldn't wear my hat inside. So, gentlemen, just if you go in there, it's one of those type situations. They have a great patio, a koi pond. It looks like it's going to be a great spot for the spring and the summer as well. So yeah.
Was it crowded or no?
No, it wasn't. But they said that they were swamped the entire Valentine's Day weekend. Like I think the guy said they pulled in like 40K. this Valentine's weekend.
And it was so Vince, I'm going to go. I'm going to go make a reservation for Friday. I'm going to go because I do food reviews on TikTok on a separate account called the ATL Vibe. And so I'm definitely going to go. It's a great opportunity to review a restaurant early. So I'm going to go. I can't wait for us to talk about it, and we'll have a chat. And so last question, Darius, what did you have? Are you asking Darius or Vince?
I had the lamb chops also. So let me know how it is when you go, Zach.
Oh, stop. You went too? And you didn't like it?
I'm not going to say that I didn't like it because I don't do that to Black-owned businesses, but not publicly at least. But Zach, you let me know how you like it when you go. If there's 2 people in a row who say that they went and it was good, then I will go back again.
So I'm definitely gonna go on Friday for my food review, and I'm not a fan of Old Lady Gang. And again, I think it's important to let people know, I'm gonna let my friends know if I recommend it or not. And again, I have a whole public TikTok called the ATL Vibe, so you can see my food reviews. And I go to Black restaurants on purpose so that I can shout them out and get them some business if it's good. I try to do majority Black restaurants. And so if I didn't give a review because it may not be good, then shoot, I may not have a whole lot of content. So with that being said, everybody out there, thank you guys so much for joining us on a Monday night. We love you, we value you, and we can't wait to see you again next week. Goodbye, CJ.
Good